All right, let's dive into GPU virtualization. Today, we're zeroing in on a really foundational concept, pass-through architecture. This is the method that gets you as close as humanly possible to bare metal speed, but inside a virtual machine.
Okay, before we really get started, a little bit of housekeeping. So, this is Module 2 of a pretty extensive 20-part tutorial. All this info is based on a big report by Virtualization Options LLC, and it's really just for general information. It's not legal, financial, or specific technical advice. So as always, make sure you talk to your own pros before making any big decisions. And one more thing, we're only scratching the surface here. GPU licensing, for example, is a whole beast of its own, and we'll tackle that in Module 14.
So here's the game plan for this explainer. We're going to start with what GPU pass-through actually is, then we'll peek under the hood at the architecture, talk about the awesome performance benefits, but also get real about the trade-offs. And finally, we'll look at where this technology really shines.
Okay, first things first. Let's get on the same page about what we mean when we say GPU pass-through. You might also hear it called direct device assignment. The best way to think about it is like giving a virtual machine its own private, direct hotline to the GPU, right? Normally, the hypervisor acts like this busy switchboard operator, routing all the calls. With pass-through, we're bypassing that switchboard entirely. The VM gets to talk directly to the hardware, and that exclusive connection, well, that's its superpower.
So how does this direct line actually get plugged in? It's not just some software switch you flip. Nope. It takes a whole stack of technologies, all working in harmony, from the silicon itself all the way up to the VM.
For pass-through to actually work, this whole chain has to be unbroken. It starts way down at the hardware level with something called IOMU. That's a feature in your CPU from Intel or AMD. You've got to make sure that's turned on in the BIOS. Then your hypervisor has to be able to assign a PCI device. Next, you basically tell the host operating system, hey, hands off this GPU, using a special driver. And finally, you install the native GPU drivers right inside the guest VM, and that's what lets it take direct control.
And now for the main event, the #1 reason, by a mile, that IT pros go down this path. We are talking about raw, unadulterated performance. This is really where pass-through just blows everything else away.
And this number, well, this says it all, doesn't it? You can expect to get 95 to 99% of the performance you'd get from a non-virtualized, bare metal machine. The performance hit is so tiny, for most things, you literally would not be able to tell the difference. So what's the secret sauce here? It all comes down to something called direct memory access, or DMA. Because we're skipping the hypervisor, data can just flow straight from the GPU to the system's memory and back. It's a direct superhighway, no traffic lights, no tolls. And that's what makes it so incredibly fast and responsive, which is an absolute game changer for any app where every single millisecond counts.
Of course, you knew this was coming, right? That unbelievable performance doesn't come for free. You have to make some pretty major trade-offs in flexibility. This is the other side of the pass-through coin.
This really lays out the whole dilemma, doesn't it? On one hand, you get that incredible speed, full access to every single feature on the GPU, and rock-solid predictable performance. But, and this is a big but, on the other hand, you give up some of the best parts of virtualization. It's a one-to-one mapping, so no sharing that GPU, you can't live migrate the VM to another host, and if you want to give that GPU to a different machine, you have to shut the first one down completely. So given all those pros and cons, this approach is definitely not a one-size-fits-all solution. So let's talk about the specific situations where GPU pass-through is absolutely the right call. I mean, you can see a pattern emerging here, right? This is tailor-made for any single-user, super intense workload that needs every last drop of GPU power. We're talking about massive scientific simulations, training a huge AI model, a high-end CAD workstation for an engineer, or even a developer who needs to write code for a very specific piece of hardware. This quote from the report just hits the nail on the head. You're dedicating a very expensive piece of hardware to a single virtual machine. So the bottom line is, if that powerful GPU isn't being hammered on constantly by that one VM, pass-through can get really inefficient, and honestly, pretty expensive. And that really brings us to the final critical question you've got to ask yourself. For your specific job, for your workload, does the need for absolute, no-compromise speed outweigh the inflexibility of that one-to-one mapping? Your answer to that question is what will tell you if pass-through is the right move.